Welcome everyone to the third Thursday meetup of the West Orlando WordPress Meetup Group. I'm Brian Walton, a co-organizer and host. West Orlando WordPress is an official WordPress meetup group as affiliated with the main WordPress Orlando and WordCamp US meetup groups. Tonight's presenter is Carlos Rosado. Carlos has been involved in digital marketing for over 14 years with 10 years in SEO. He worked on WordPress related websites since the 5-minute installs. Carlos worked 7 years with agencies helping small businesses grow their online presence and gain organic reach via search engine marketing. When it comes to understanding who your audience is, do you know how to see it in Google Analytics? And so tonight we're going to show you where the traffic comes from and what channels are delivering. So Carlos, thank you for being our presenter. The time is now yours.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining today and having me as a host. I will be talking about tracking your website performance with Google Analytics. It's a great way to learn who your audience is and understand where they come from when they visit your website. I've worked with a lot of clients who don't know where their customer base comes from. So it's a great way to really learn the basics of it and kind of get an idea of where that audience is that's visiting you from your website. So tonight we'll be discussing, I'll introduce myself. I'll discuss what Google Analytics is, why it is important, key Google Analytics sections that you should watch and know. Nothing that's going to be overly complicated and with regards to the information I'm sharing. So it'll be really simple to use. So you can actually be able to watch the presentation and even pull up your own on a separate screen if you can. Understanding the metrics, a mobile overview, all pages, goals, some of the things that we will be discussing. And then adding analytics to your website. We'll be talking about some of the plugins that work really well in order to add to your, in order to track the traffic straight from your site. And then I added a resource section that you guys can be able to use and access at the end of the presentation, should you want to take a look at some of the information directly for yourself. So to introduce myself, this was this Halloween. So I want to share a little bit about my personal side with my 3 kids. As old as 7, which is my daughter, and as young as 1.5, which is the wolf I'm holding in my hands. I've been in the SEO industry for 9 to 10 years, like I mentioned earlier, 12 years experience. I spent 7 years working in digital marketing agencies, 3 years in-house. My time with digital marketing agencies allowed me to work with a lot of industries. So there's not one industry I can honestly say I have not touched with regards to my digital marketing career. I'm a big geek. And I kind of passed that DNA on to my kids. That right there is my middle son, who's a big Spider-Man fan. And yeah, I enjoy cartoons as much as my kids do. And it's a little bit more about myself. I was born in Puerto Rico, but I've lived in Florida since I was 2. So I've actually been here for over 35 years. What is Google Analytics? Google Analytics is a web analytics service that provides statistics and basic analytical information for search engine optimization and marketing purposes. This is a free product provided by Google to everyone. Anyone with a personal Gmail account or Google Workspace, if you use a company email that's set up through Google Workspace, you can actually create and have access to Google Analytics for free. No other email types work with this, such as Yahoo, Hotmail, or Mail. They do not work with this platform. You have to have a Google-based email in order to use Google Analytics. So they're keeping the branding all consistent with their with their stuff. Google Analytics allows you to view traffic data from users who visit your website. You can see if they came from desktop as a desktop user or someone who used their mobile device. You're able to see where your traffic came from. They are broken into different channels, such as organic, social, paid ads, or referral traffic. And referral is like a third-party website. So if they came from, our WP Meetup website that went to your website, that's a referral. So it comes from a third-party site from a different channel. These channels also help to see how many users converted through your website. So if you have 30 visitors and 1 converts, you know that that person converted through one of the possible channels shared. You can see how long users spent time on your site and which individual pages as well. So it's really helpful to see how that is able to appear for you. Why is Google Analytics important? It can answer a lot of questions you may have with regards to how your website is performing. Where are your visitors coming from and where are the conversions coming from? When talking to many small business owners, they're unable to answer questions with regards to their website traffic. Google Analytics can provide small business owners with information that can help improve their overall marketing strategy and their yearly budget. this analytics helps even set up yearly budgets for a lot of these businesses too. As a business owner or blogger, you can learn so much about the type of audience that visits your website. You do not need to have an expert when it comes to understanding the metrics in Google Analytics, but it's key to know which ones you should look at to understand what is happening. So as we continue to discuss this, as we look at the information shared, do note that we will be looking at a specific date range, which you can see some of the arrows right within the presentation, that we're going to be looking at about 30-day comparison. And the great thing about the date range is that you're able to view month over month. So you can actually click on compared, and you can do month over month, year over year, week over week, quarter over quarter. And so it's very customizable if you even want to check a 5-day range. So it's very flexible to look at the data you want to look at. You can even go back as far as you need to see as far if you have a very old website that could be 5 to 10 years old, you can pull data as far back as then if you have had Google Analytics set up since the beginning. So we're going to go right now and discuss some of the key sections to know. So in order to know what kind of traffic you're looking at from these different channels, when you go into Google Analytics, you'll have a home button, and then it'll have a variety of additional sublinks there. So if you click on acquisition, a drop-down will open, and then click on all traffic, that will open another drop-down where it shows channels. And then channels will actually show you this, and this is kind of what I mentioned in the earlier part. You have organic, paid, direct, referral, and social traffic. So you're able to see if you're running any marketing, you'll be able to identify which one is performing and where improvements need to be made. So as we look at our 30-day range, we're able to really see which channels are delivering traffic to our website. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into the actual section itself. So I'm going to explain some of these, the acquisition section, behavior, and conversion. So sessions and users, which is this section right over here. Sessions is all the visitors to your site, including returned visitors. Users are unique visitors, meaning it only counts the person once, unlike sessions that can count that same visitor multiple times as they are on your website. So the numbers will never be the same. They'll always be a little bit different. Sessions will always be higher than users. And it'll even show you how many of those users that came in were new. So one of the one that grabs a lot of attention, the bounce rate, when a user comes to your website and leaves right away. So that's pretty much the definition for bounce rate. The lower the bounce rate, it shows the user did not leave right away, as they find what they're looking for when they land on your page. Typically, average, you'll see about 32 to 80% is where a lot of businesses really should be hanging around with regards to the bounce rate. But there are other factors that can cause it to go a lot higher, such as blog articles, a lot of people clicking in and out of things that can really mess the numbers up if they are not ready to go to your website or they clicked on it by accident as they're looking for information. Page sessions is number of pages viewed by each visitor to the website. So what they do is they'll divide the number of pages by the number of sessions, and that tells you on average, in this case, for this example, what we're looking at is 1.10 is the average view. So that means at least one page is being viewed by each of those users. The average time of each visitor is how long a visitor has viewed the page. So they are counting it for 41 seconds. And the goal completion rate is the percentage of conversions by the number of sessions. So they'll calculate that for the 26, which is the goal completions, by the number of sessions, and they'll give you that information there. So when you take a look at it, a lot of the information that is visible here is calculated right within the data that you're looking at. Goal completions is pretty much what you're looking at. Someone just converts, whether they fill out a form or they reach out and click, and where you're able to track those kind of leads. And we'll explain a little bit further on in here as well as we continue. And we'll revisit that there. So another section that you want to be able to take a look at is mobile. So mobile shows you if they came to your site, whether it was through mobile device, desktop, or tablet. So if you click on audience, which is the tab above the previous one, it'll pull up another drop down. You'll see a variety of options there. But if you look a little further down, you'll see mobile, and click overview, and you'll be able to see if they came from mobile, desktop, or tablet. And you're able to see how that audience performed. And we can see here that we have a 50-50 split when it came to those individuals who converted, but we have a much larger, we're kind of beating out the desktop users by just a little bit Not by much, but just enough that we're getting a little bit more engagement on the mobile side of the website. The cool thing is as well, if you're a more visual person, next to the search, so I'll show this one up here, but I have it marked right here. You can find an option to view this type of data as a pie chart. So the second button to the left, you'll be able to change the data that we're looking at here with the table straight into a graph, and into a pie, and you're able to see the different colors that are available. And then there's other options as well, but these are the two of the best ones to be able to view it and really understand what you're looking at there. And like I mentioned, the 50-50, almost a 50-50 split with regards to the users on mobile and desktop in total. Another metric that's really, so here's a screenshot of that metric a little bit larger so you guys are able to see that. And we can see the total audience here, and we can see how that data breaks down for the users that are coming to the site. So I wanted to be able to show that a little bit larger there too as well. One other section you'll see with regards to the best performing pages on your website. If we go beyond audience and acquisition, the third main tab under home would be behavior. If you click on site content and then all pages, you'll be able to see the pages that are actually generating traffic for your website. So this is a client of mine. I did not want to show the actual pages, but you can see here, number one, that's when it's just a /, that's the homepage of your website and how many visitors are going to be there. Your homepage is typically your top 5, top 3 most of the time. If you have a really good blog article or a very high performing page, it can definitely jump over the homepage and be your best performing page. So I've been able to get clients where they have had their homepage be their 3rd or 5th best page on the website, and they've had other pages outperform that page. And that's okay. Your homepage doesn't have to be the catch-all. You have other pages that are performing that you want individuals to convert in, and you'll be able to see under all pages the different pages that are performing well. You can view the top 10 pages or even view all the pages at once. So you have a small website. It's really easy to see which ones are performing well and which ones need more help in. Conversions. So I mentioned this earlier. Conversions allow you to see where the lead comes from and which days the conversion happened. Below, you can see 2 thank you pages, which allows us to track the number of leads more accurately from the website. So if you have your contact us form and you have a form on the side of your website, on the sidebar, you can track 2 different thank you pages to see how both of those perform. This is very useful because if you just track one page and have used the same thank you form, you do not know which page performs better than the other one. Yes, your contact page will generate a good portion of the leads, but if you're able to track that your service page or a blog article has generated a lead, you know you're doing very good things that are helping it perform really well. So in order to access the conversions underneath behavior, if you click on conversions, goals, and overview, you'll be taken straight to this page and you'll be able to see the number of conversions that come in during the 30 days. You'll see the number, you'll see the goal conversion rate, which divides by the number of sessions. If there's an abandonment, how many people, and if you do e-commerce, this is great because it allows you to see when people drop off, when they don't end up purchasing an item. And then you are able to track which forms perform really well. This is very helpful, as you can see, because our contact page generated 7, but we have internal pages that perform really well throughout the website. So we know we're generating lead opportunities all over the site. So in here, it'll automatically, you can be able to see your goal location. So if you have the thank you pages already set up, the URL for the thank you page will show there. And you'll be able to actually be able to see the data for those 2 pages. Another cool metric that's also really neat, if you click on source medium, which is right underneath the goal completion location, you're able to see which channel converted the best. So in this case of the 30, 16 of them came through organic. We had direct converters who found the website and converted through branding. Paid ad is CPC, cost per click. So Google paid ads will show up. And then the secondary search engines out there, Yahoo, Bing, and DuckDuckGo also generated a combined 5 conversions. So you're able to really see what converts really well. So if you are running a social media campaign through Facebook that leads your audience right back to the website and they convert, you can see how many of those individuals converted. So if 300 people came in and 15 converted, then you know you're running a really solid campaign that's helping, that people are converting through the website. This is a great way to see how your conversions work and which channels are performing well. And if you see that organic is not performing well, then you know that's an area of improvement. If you're running a social campaign, then you know that that's another way that this will perform really well on how well your budget is doing with the campaign that you're running. With Google paid ads, it works really well because you're able, if you're going to put $500 for your paid ads for Google and you generate 4 conversions, that's actually in 30 days. That's pretty good for the $500 that you're spending. So you're generating about 300 clicks and you converted 4 of those individuals that came through. You always want to do more, but depending on the campaign you're running, there's definitely factors there. But this is a great way to see which channels perform well and really take it to the next level and understanding what works and what's not working. In order to add your Google Analytics to your website, in order to start seeing a lot of these metrics, one of the things they'll have you do in the initial setup is add a tracking code, similar to what we see below. I just blocked out the UA codes for it, but typically this is all you really need. In the admin section you'll be able to grab this code and easily implement it to it. So if you're setting it up for the first time, you'll see this right away. You won't be taken anywhere else, but you'll have to set it up right away, and they give you the code pretty much immediately. So this is how the code works. If you're not a coder, can be very confusing, as this actually belongs at the pretty much where the opening head tag is located on the back end of the website. For many of us who aren't really strong coders, if you put this in the wrong position, it's not going to track properly, and you're likely not going to be able to track the type of numbers you need to know if it's working or not. The cool thing is, if it's not working, you'll get a little notification and it will tell you that it's, hey, your code is not working properly. When it comes to for us here in the WordPress group, WordPress plugins is the best way for us to be able to go ahead and add the UA tracking code or Google Analytics tracking code. So if you're not savvy at coding like myself, going to your website and using a plugin is going to be the best way of doing it with zero coding. All you really will need is the UA code that will be available for you on the back end once you set it up. After researching, these are pretty much the best ones I highly recommend if you are going to do it, because you can actually be able to see your data on the back end of WordPress without having to log into your analytics. So you're able to see the data there. We're going to be talking about Monster Insight, Exact Metrics, Analysify, and then our fourth option is check the theme settings that you have for your WordPress theme. In many cases, there are many WordPress themes out there that actually allow you to add the tracking code, the same code that you saw there. They'll have a section for a copy and paste, or a section to add the UA tracking, the UA number, and that's all you need, and they take care of everything for you. So these are some of the best ways to do it. Not every theme does it, but there are some that do help you set it up automatically. So let's jump right into it. And remember, you have to have a Gmail account in order to do it. Monster Insight can be installed and added to the WordPress dashboard and can view it right when you log into your admin section. Monster Insight offers a free version that will deliver the information you need without the premium version. You can always get the premium if you wish. This plugin is the most popular one, most recognized one. I'm sure everyone is kind of at some point has heard of it, with over 3 million downloads for this particular plugin. And here's a quick screenshot of one I did on my personal site to kind of show the metrics. And you can see it shows sessions, page views, average time on the site, total users, and then a 30-day comparison of it. So this lets you know if it's gone up or down. Another one is Exact Metrics. When I set this up, honest to God, I think it's literally Monster Insight 2.0. This one has over 1 million downloads. It's very similar to Monster Insight. The only thing that I saw with the reviews were only about 2.5 right now. So definitely keep an eye on that. But you're able to see the same setup the last 30 days, and you're able to see the sessions, page views, time on the site, and number of users. You can view the reports, and you can really see the breakdown as well. All this from the dashboard on WordPress, so you don't have to leave WordPress in order to see this. The third plugin, Analysify, allows you to present the data as well from Google Analytics, and it's really useful with regards to it, nice and clean. The integration is super simple and doesn't require the help of a developer as well. This one is right through the WordPress.org site. The downside that I saw with this one, you have to install 2 plugins to use the widget feature in the dashboard. The upside to that was I was able to set it up, and all I did was click on the button, and it actually installed the second widget. The downside is that you're installing 2 plugins instead of 1, and that can be, we've talked about always trying to limit how many you are using with regards to plugins. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you have too many plugins, and in this case, you have to use 2 plugins to use analytics. But you can see here, same setup. You have the date range, and then how many visitors have come to the site, and how much time they spent on there as well. So yeah, the only downside I saw with this one was really you having to use 2 plugins instead of just the one. And then I mentioned as well the backend. This is a great example here. There's a lot of WordPress themes that offer internal solutions when it comes to adding the tracking code to the site without having to install a plugin. Two themes that we've discussed in the WordPress meetup every once a month that when we have it in the past is the Avada theme and Divi. They have it within their system for you to be able to do it, and there's many more that are out there. The list can go on and on. So definitely check your theme if it's something that it actually is able to do, so you don't have to worry about adding a code to it. You can have a feature already done there. So in this case, you'll see here we used the Avada and under advanced, the tracking code there, and then we just plug in the tracking code right inside here. So as you saw a couple slides ago, the script was there. All I did was copy it and paste it right in here and save my changes, and I'm done. I don't have to do anything else with regards to it, which is great. So you don't have to be adjusting the code or anything. Just copy and paste it and call it a day. So resources, this is one section that I talked about. If there's certain things that you want to have better understanding of with regards to adding users or being able to go ahead and export things out to get a closer look. They have a great resource section that can actually be able to help and answer a lot of the questions. If you're stuck, unable to get help from an expert, you can definitely reach out to Google Analytics as a solution to answer any of your questions. When you actually log in at the top right, where you'll typically see like either your headshot or you'll see like the letters of your name right next to it to the question mark. You click that, and they have the help search help option, so you can type in what you're looking for. You can ask the community or click contact us and speak with an expert directly. You can see here this bell, that's the notification I mentioned earlier, that if you click on the notification and you notice that you're not receiving any traffic, that'll let you know if it's tracking or not just by clicking on notifications. And so just wanted to make sure you guys knew about this. It's easy. Again, once you log in and you're using your Google Gmail account to log in, it'll definitely show you whatever your current headshot situation is. So if you're not using a photo, it typically grabs the first letter of your name and the first letter of your last name. So mine would be like CR would kind of be right here, showcased at the very top, but I still have access to the analytics. A couple additional resources I wanted to share. You can definitely, to gain access to Google Analytics if you haven't before. The URL is located right here. They also have a YouTube channel. If you're like myself, I like watching things and being able to have screenshots and follow along. They have a YouTube channel where they are able to actually walk you through the setup process as well and explain a lot of different features that they have going on. Any updates that they do that do come up is also another great way for you to see how what is happening and have a better understanding of what's going on. A lot of short videos, so obviously a couple longer ones, but there's plenty of short videos there too to help fully understand what's going on. Links to the 3 plugins that I recommended as well. I wanted to share those here. Again, Monster Insight is above and beyond the most recognized one. Exact Metrics, really good. I honestly feel it is the same as Monster Insight. I've gotten emails from both when I did an initial setup. It came from literally the same person. And then obviously WP Analysify is the third plugin. Only setback is you have to install 2 plugins in order to see the dashboard side, which is the only downside it has, but very clean plugin as well. Also, don't forget to join our meetups every first Friday. And then we do have a West Orlando WP website as well, where this will be located. I added a video link on how to set up a thank you page for your conversion tracking. So if you have a thank you page and you're trying to set that up, that short link right there is a quick video that I did that's getting shared on the chat as well, that you can actually follow along. Quick short video to help set up your thank you page. It is a bit of a process, so I ended up creating a short video of it to help along for those who want to set that up. And then obviously, you can always contact me if you have any questions, concerns. If you're stuck on anything, I'm always available to help out and answer any questions anybody has with regards to analytics and making sure you guys understand what you're looking at on the back end, or if there's something you guys feel doesn't seem right, you can always shoot me an email, and always happy to answer any questions through there. And that is pretty much the presentation part. I had talked with Rob about doing a quick install. If you guys are okay with time, I can do a quick install of one of the plugins to be able to show how that's done, and then what the dashboard looks like on the site.
Yep. You can do a generic one yourself, or have do it for somebody.
Yeah, I got a staging site from my site, so I can do it off of that one.
Go for it.
All right,
We
awesome.
got time.
Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. So, and literally what I'm sharing, you can do it with all the plugins. It works the same way. So I don't want to have you guys go through all of it. See me install 3 plugins as I did it initially. So, all right, perfect. All right, so I'm going to pretend like I just logged in. So I'm just going to go to the dashboard section. And, for me, my site's on WP Engine. But when it comes to being able to track the tracking of analytics and the performance, the big thing is I want to be able to see the data here. So in order to do that, I'm going to go to Plugins, Add New. I'm sure the people at Monster Insight will probably get tired of seeing me come in and install. Go into Search Plugin and just type in Monster Insight. There you go. If you have the name of it, it should be able to come up. So in this case, Monster Insight will show. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see the last time they updated a plugin, how many active account installs that I mentioned earlier, and then the reviews for the site. You're able to see other channels, other plugins as well that do it. But in this case, we're going to install now. And as this installs, it only takes a couple of seconds here. I can click Activate. And it should take me to another window just to show like, hey, it's been downloaded. It's actually linked to the website. And then all I have to do now is the setup process. So they even have a video, their own YouTube channel that can help you walk through that. In my case, I'm going to go ahead and launch the wizard to be able to start tracking it. And like I said, they have an upgraded version as well. I myself, once you have it really set up, you don't really need to purchase the Pro. This gives you enough information that you need to get started. So we're going to go ahead and launch the wizard. It'll be a business website, publisher, e-commerce, whatever your site may be. Telling me about, all right, so the license key, we're just going to go ahead and connect Analytics, Google Analytics, and WordPress. This will take me to another window, so I'm hoping it'll show. If it doesn't show, let me know. I'll go ahead and select my email that I want to use. It'll ask for permission. The reason why you're going to allow permission is because it can pull the data straight from Google Analytics into the plugin. That way it will show on the back end of your website. So you do want to give permission to whichever plugin you're using in order for it to show the data. If you hit cancel or get out of it, it won't show the data. So you have to make sure they have the right permission to use it. I have my URL already selected. So you have multiple URLs. You'll definitely see all the URLs show up there as well. So make sure you have the right URL selected. I'm going to complete my connection. All right, we're going to get set up here. All right, in this case, I'm not going to do anything else. I am administrator, so as an administrator of my website, I'm able to see the information. I can set up for installs automatically or not. It depends on your level of expertise. If you're not super savvy, definitely leave the installs for automatic to show. You don't have to worry about anything else, as this is already set up. You can continue. The next step is the added recommendations. You can ignore those. As I said, the add-ons you definitely will not need right away. It's totally not worth it. More promotional material with WP Forms. Ignore that. Now, if you use WP Forms, you already have it, but try not to install this if you're already using a form capture template. So we'll skip that step. We're finished after 2 advertising options there. All right, I'm all set up here on this end. It says congratulations, I'm ready to go. I can go back to my dashboard really quick. Again, with the light version, the free version that I'm using, I do not need a license. I scrolled down because for me, it automatically puts it to the bottom. So I scrolled all the way down here. I have Monster Insight. I'm going to grab it and just move it all the way to the top. And if I need to, I just clicked on full width mode, so I'm able to see the data that I want to be able to have access to. Now, there's other elements, like I said, that in order for you to be able to see, but the biggest thing is this is a great way to see what your audience is on a breakdown within the 30 days, where they've gone up, page views, time on the site, and how many users have gone to it. Seeing it in analytics gives you more data and easier to take a look at the data without having to spend the additional money on a plugin to show you that data. Analytics will cover all those bases on their free version as well. This is Monster Insight. I think it took us about 5 minutes to install. And remember, I used a Google Gmail account. Once you do that, you're pretty much set. Your data will come up, and as long as you pick the right website, your information will easily upload right away, and you're all set and done there. With the insights, you'll notice it has its own settings. You can go in and take a look at those and what they have. But ultimately, what you already have preset is what you need to get started in order for it to work. I don't have to do anything else with regards to this plugin.
Very good. Looks pretty simple.
Yeah. Same thing again. Same thing with the other with exact metrics. Same setup. And the Analysify does the same thing. Once you install the plugin, it'll go to your Gmail account and it'll ask for permission to access the data it needs in order for it to show you on the back end of your WordPress website when you log in and take a look at it.
Good. Well, Carlos, thanks so much for that. That was a really good insight. Hopefully those are here, plus those will be watching on the video will enjoy that. I'm going to stop the recording right now, and then we'll start our Q&A.